Hello everyone, Takalo here, back on another video in information technology. So in this video, we are going to be observing and inspecting various network traffic protocols, SSH, UDP, TCP IP, and RDP, and more. You can get the idea of what I'm talking about. So the prerequisites for this video is 2 Windows machines, whether it's physical or a virtual machine, and I'm going to be using Windows virtual machine and the Linux virtual machine. So in this activity, we are going to be experimenting with network security groups, the technology that we use in Microsoft Azure to create virtual machines and desktop machines, and we're also going to mess around with the Linux server through the command prompt CLI. Without further ado, let's get started. I have already created my Linux server VM and my Windows VM. I won't be showing you guys in this video. I'm going to start by RDPing into my Windows client machine. And another tip is the 2 virtual machines that you create, you need to make sure that they're in the same resource group, same region, same network security group, and also in the same availability set. I am going to RDP into my Windows virtual machine. When I open my browser, it says no connection. It says checking the connection, checking the proxy, firewall, and DNS settings. What I'm going to do is to try and restart my virtual machine and go to my network settings. In my network settings, I'm going to click on DNS servers, and I'm going to switch from custom to inherit from virtual network and save the settings and apply. And on my Azure panel, I'm going to restart my virtual machine and RDP into my virtual machine again. And open the page for Wireshark, and I'm going to go to the downloads page and select the Windows x64 installer. And when the download is completed, I'm going to click on downloads and run the setup for Wireshark. After installing Wireshark, I am going to open my GitHub and go to my repository for network security groups and inspecting traffic between Azure virtual machines using Wireshark. And I'm going to open my Google Docs documentation. Before I explain the contents in my documentation, I'm going to start by telling you guys what is Wireshark. Wireshark is a free and open source network protocol analyzer used to capture and analyze network traffic. It allows users to inspect data at a microscopic level, making it a valuable tool for troubleshooting network issues and analyzing security vulnerabilities. It captures network traffic data packets as they pass through a network interface, and it provides a detailed view of these packets, allowing users to analyze the data. Analysis can reveal information about network protocols, communication patterns, and potential security issues. So, part one for this activity, and I'm going to wait for Wireshark to complete the installation. For our first activity, we are going to observe ICMP traffic, which is Internet Control Message Protocol, which is used for sending error messages and operational information about network conditions. We are going to do the capture within Wireshark. After that, I'm going to try to ping my Ubuntu virtual machine using the private IP address and public IP address. I'm going to click on the blue shark at the top left, and I'm going to capture my packets from the Ethernet. Since I'm using a virtual machine, I'm going to type ICMP. When I click on enter, I get no result. I think it's because I didn't run Wireshark as the administrator. I'm going to run PowerShell and type in CMD ping and the public IP address for my Ubuntu virtual machine and try to ping it. And I get an error message saying request timed out, which means that there is no transfer of data between my virtual machine and the Ubuntu virtual machine. and I'm going to ping my Ubuntu virtual machine, and I get a reply from my Ubuntu virtual machine, which means that there is transfer of data between my Ubuntu VM and Windows machine, but it says destination host unreachable. So I think that there's a mistake with my network configuration, and update my network interface and switch back to my virtual machine, and I'm going to try and ping my Ubuntu VM again in my Windows PowerShell. I'm going to type in cmd ping and the private IP for my Ubuntu VM, and I get a reply from my Ubuntu virtual machine. When I minimize this tab, you should see the internet control message protocol packet, and you can see on destination that I sent 4 packets and received 4 packets. I'm going to do another ping test. I'm going to do a continuous ping. I'm going to type in cmd ping space and then -t and the private IP address for my Ubuntu VM, and we can view the ping request and replies on Wireshark. So the machine is saying hello, hi, hello, hi, hello, hi, hello, hi, hello, hi. Unlike on the Windows PowerShell, we only see the replies. And for our next activity, we are going to be observing SSH Traffic, which utilizes TCP port 22. And before I do that, I need to go back to my Azure portal and disable the in our Linux and disable incoming ICMP traffic. I'm going to navigate to my network settings, and in network settings we should find network security groups, and when we go to settings we will find inbound security rules, and then we will add a rule. So basically we are saying any traffic from anywhere. ICMP doesn't run on a port, so I'm just going to clear that, and the action should be deny, and I'm going to type in my priority level and click on add, and the rule has been created. So now let's go back to our virtual machine, and I'm going to re-enable ICMP traffic. I'm going to go back to my Azure portal and delete that rule, and that should fix this error. And our next activity will be observing SSH traffic. I'm going to type in cmd SSH Dagalo at my Ubuntu VM private IP, and it's going to ask for my password, and I'm going to type in my password, and the password will not be showing on the Windows PowerShell because SSH is encrypted, like everything in SSH is encrypted to the dot, and you can see traffic on Wireshark, and now we are logged into our Ubuntu virtual machine. And if you look at the bottom left on Wireshark, it says SSH protocol, and I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to type a couple of commands on my Linux virtual machine so that we can inspect the traffic. I'm going to do the command ID, and it will give us information about ourselves. And if you want to know more about the operating system, you can type in uname space dash a minus a to give you more detailed information about the operating system. We can even create a file. I'm going to type pwd print working directory, and then I'm going to create a file. I'm going to type in touch space file.txt, and I'm going to type in my ls command, and that's it for SSH. I'm going to switch to my TCP port. So before doing that, I have to exit my Ubuntu VM. I'm going to type in exit, and while this command is being automated, we can see the when it does the automation request on Wireshark, we are going to see a red bar. And if we were in SSH, we wouldn't have seen the termination request. That's why I changed to tcp.port 22 before terminating the packet analysis. If we were in SSH, we wouldn't have seen that it is logged out on Wireshark, and it says closed. So for our next activity, we are going to observe DHCP traffic, which utilizes UDP port 67 and port 68. If I type in cmd ipconfig, we can see a little bit of traffic on Wireshark. If I do ipconfig and release, it will release the IP address. If I do ipconfig release, it will release the IP address. And if I do renew, it will give me the same old IP address. It will log us directly out of this virtual machine, and it can happen that we don't get a new IP address. So what we are going to rather do is open Notepad, and you are going to type in the ipconfig space / release and ipconfig / renew, and I'm going to select save as, and I'm going to select save as all file types, and the file name is going to be dhcp.bat, and in the directory we are going to C drive program data, and then we'll just save this in that directory. And now we can run the command in our PowerShell. If we run the command, we will be logged out, and it will automatically log us back in to release the IP address.